Hello there and welcome to another edition of Political Time with me, Gifty and APPIAH. Let me just tell you some of the stories that are making headlines in Ghana. Talking about the security concerns in Donkokrom in the eastern region. We understand that the police withdrew their services, but that service has been restored. There's also the story about the arrest of a controversial pastor, Bishop Daniel Obinim, for alleged fraud charges. His church members have been demanding his release. We understand he's on bail right now. People have actually suggested that this, the whole story about the bishop is a ploy to take attention off what we'll be discussing today, which is freedom that has been granted to the Montier 3. That's what we'll be talking about. Let me introduce to you our guest for today. I do have in the studio with me Dr. John KISSI, who is General Secretary for the NPP UK. You're welcome as well.
Thank you very much.
Also in the studio is Mr. Michael FRIMPONG, who is PRO for the NDC UK Ireland chapter. You're welcome as well.
Thank you, Gifty.
Today we're discussing freedom that has been granted to the Montier 3. So, two panelists and a host of a political show, they were jailed for 4 months after they threatened Supreme Court judges, including the Chief Justice, popularly known now as the Montier Trio. The NDC, they had the NDC and their lawyers, lead a petition to the president on their behalf. Now they have been freed. Some lawyers say that remission can be reviewed at the Supreme Court, but largely the decision to free the three has been described as a worst decision since Ghana's independence, a slap in the face of the Supreme Court and an open floodgate for more insult, impunity, and perhaps some more threats. Basically, people are saying that this is a bad precedent. The NDC does not think so. Now, this is a dream come true for you and for your party. Explain to Ghanaians why this is not dangerous to our democracy as people feel it is.
Thank you, Gifty. I think that for the first time in the history of our country, Supreme Court judges have delivered a judgment that has received public outcry. And you remember that traditional leaders, chiefs, pastors, most people in the country,
if you say Jr., most people, we know your party trumpeted this. So who are the most people you're talking about?
Jr., Dr. Nyahu Tamoklo, there are so many people who realize that these three people who have been sentenced to 4 months in prison, the punishment is too harsh. There's this petition that professors, cabinet ministers, as I said earlier on, many people went to sign. And when people sign this petition, we need to find out whether whatever they are doing or they did is in line with the Constitution. And Article 72 of our Constitution, Clause D, which gives the president the power to be able to, pardon, people.
Now, just to come in there, nobody has questioned the president's ability or the president's capability or the president's constitutional right to be able to do this. What we are saying is, and what I want you to explain to Ghanaians is, why should we not think that he is doing this not in the interest of the Ghanaian people, not in the interest of the Constitution per se, but that he is doing this to score political points and to be in right standing with the NDC, who has given him that pressure to act?
Most legal brains in our country, including Professor Asari of US and Martin Amidu, they've all commented on this particular judgment, and they've even saying that this judgment is unconstitutional.
Right.
Now, Professor Asari and Martin Amidu were of the view that, Article Section 74 and 75 of the Criminal Code, could have been used to deal with these Montier 3. Yeah. At the same time, if you come to Section 222 of the Criminal Code, again, it says that if anybody, is threatening, a judge, whilst the judge is, doing his duty, yeah, that person could, shall be guilty of misdemeanor. And at the same time, Section 222 also says that if anybody is doing anything that is affecting the proceedings of court proceedings, then the person could also, shall be guilty of misdemeanor. So this means that, the Supreme Court judges could have, directed Attorney General to, deal with this issue from that point. Mugabe, was acting or working as a journalist. And we all know that press freedom is something that is very, very, very important.
His job as a journalist was to moderate the show and make sure that people do not use language that incite negativity in society. Did he do that? First of all, I do not ascribe to the belief that he is a journalist, because you can't be a presenter but not necessarily a journalist. There are people who have talent, but they have not been trained professionally to be journalists. And so that is just on the side of it. But you're saying that it's against press freedom to take this move that the judiciary did. There are two other people who are not journalists. How about that?
Yes, if I go to the Mugabe's issue, he mentioned it, throughout the program, or when he started, that his producer, fell sick and they had to rush him to the hospital. He said it on air. So, somebody who, a producer who could be directing him, giving him, for example, this. That
doesn't sound like an excuse, I'm sorry. Because your producer, you are the host. When you win an award, the producer is half the time they're not acknowledged. It is your show. Right. Okay, but anyway, I think we've done almost 5 minutes now. Now is that the reason why you think that Ghanaians shouldn't think that this move by the president is just for the politics of it?
What Ghanaians should now know is that this gentleman went to the Supreme Court to actually, apologize. They were very remorseful, and we all, know that they were. And when they were also in prison, when the petition was signed, they were, also remorseful. Right. If somebody has done something wrong and has actually admitted his fault, has apologized, come on, we should be, we should be able to. That is why, Mr. President, showed the mercy. And at the same time, Adam Sakende of MPP, it was granted.
That's the example you always give, but here there are two different cases here. This person, he was sick. Doctor, the NPP should be happy, because the last time we had this conversation, you told me that, well, if he frees them, then this is going to be a background for a major campaign message from your side. You should be happy, but it appears you're not. Is that hypocrisy?
Well, I think on that occasion, let me, before I go to the substance of the matter, first of all, just extend warm greetings to the Nana Akufo-Addo and urge all our party supporters to continue supporting their party through the I Am for Nana app. They should go and download it and make their donation, as they have always done. The last time I was here, if you remember very well, I said that, if we wanted to be selfish and think about our party, we would urge the president on and say to him to go ahead and release them. However, in the interest of the country and to make sure that we do not set the bad precedents, we would urge the president not to do so. So he has done it, and he will pay for it.
I see.
And he has done it because he wants to appeal to his base. He wants to solidify his base. He wants to bring the NDC together, because that is what the NDC is urging him to do. So he has, as he's done on many other occasions, chosen the NDC over the country.
That's what the NPP thinks?
Yes, he has chosen politics over principle.
Like he's explaining, somebody has done wrong, and he said, yeah, I accept that I did wrong, and I've apologized over and over again. And on top of that, the president was there receiving all of this serious, heavy pressure. What more can a man do?
Well, that's why I'm telling you that he had the option to stick with the Supreme Court or to turn his back on them. What he has done, he just stabbed the Supreme Court in the back. What he has done, is sending a very bad message across. And you can see it, you can already feel it. You can hear some of their supporters, and some of them are saying that who say man no day. Some of them are saying that if you don't understand, you can go and bend the sea. Some senior politicians who shouldn't be saying things like that. I'll mention a name, Nana Tudazi. I was so surprised. Someone who was once a chief of staff of the country.
Well, he's NDC. So
he is NDC.
This is a party decision.
So are we building a country here, or are we just moving in the interest of our party? So for somebody like him, words like that shouldn't come from his mouth. Go and bend the sea if you don't understand. So is this the remorseful attitude that they were talking about when they say
they were
remorseful?
The remorseful ones are the ones who are being
Even the political party itself, dissociated themselves from the act. All right? And so if the party doesn't think what the people did was right, and the president somehow, you know, as the PPP chairman said that the president has displayed, you know, weak leadership, and Dr. Edward Mahama said that he was very disappointed in the president because he has actually endorsed, you know, misdemeanor. He has endorsed the insult that they rained on the Supreme Court judges. Reuters carried this story. I mean, it's become an international issue. They're saying that the president orders freedom for, you know, three
well, in terms of politics,
judges.
that should make the NPP happy. Why are you?
And of course,
because there have been concerns within the NDC that the NPP is afraid of these three people and what they come and what they probably will do when they come out. And
no, these three people cannot do anything.
Well, they say Mugabe, for instance, has a platform.
I told you earlier
he can
on.
Really hit at you.
I told you earlier on that these guys they didn't start this today, okay, and they went on and on and on. And I can bet you on this that when they come back, they are going to behave much better.
So what's the next campaign message
we're going to tap into a benefit. First of all, it sends the president, it shows the president as a weak leader, okay, who buckles under pressure from his people, because his lawyer advised him that given the history of the party, you know, what they did to some three judges some time ago, that, you know, anything that the party does which is contrary to what the judiciary wants will not be good for the party. All right, and this is the person who was instrumental in making him the president.
Be wrapping up for me.
All right, let me also say this: that yes, the president would have succeeded by this, you know, poor decision and this poor judgment that he's exercised. He has succeeded in solidifying his party, but what he's done is he's ostracized a lot of people. You know, the neutrals, the people who are looking for a strong and decisive leader. They are the people who are going to turn their back on the president and say that, look, if you are for your party, okay, stay with your party people will vote for you. But a lot of people who were not happy to see these three released, and who are not happy with the decision of the president, they are going to vote against the president.
They are not likely to vote for the president because they are not party people. That's all right. You had a quick reaction. We'll make that real quick, and then we can wrap up on this conversation.
Absolutely. We all know that Sir John, who was the General Secretary of the MPP, you know, somebody who has practiced law and has been a lawyer for a long time, made worst statement that the judges, you know, should, you know, go and plan their funerals, you know, buy their coffins and all that. What happened to him? He was actually, you know, asked to pay 5,000 Ghana cedis, and he was set free. He went home. No,
well, anyway,
he was again set free. Now, what I'm saying is that...
Is it really the case of they've done it, so let's do it?
No.
Or is it about upholding our democracy as a country and making sure that whatever move we make, that it actually empowers who we are and what we have been able to achieve for ourselves as a country in terms of democracy?
If somebody, you know, who knows the law, you know, who has been practicing the law and knows of the contempt, you know, case and all that, made such statement, and he was asked to go, free, scot-free. Somebody, you know, who has no knowledge of the law, you know, who is a journalist, you know, he's being given 4 months. Come on, that is why. A presenter. That is why the whole country, you know, including, you know, pastors, you know, traditional rulers, you know,
who of course were of the NDC.
As I said earlier.
Okay, wrap up for me on that.
As I said, they all actually pleaded, you know, with the president as enshrined in our constitution, and I quoted Article 72.
That's okay.
You know,
and the NDC must be very happy.
To be honest with you, Ghanaians are happy because freedom of expression.
I know a lot of Ghanaians who are not happy.
I'm saying most Ghanaians are happy because freedom of expression, freedom of press freedom has been entrenched in our democratic era. And that is why people are happy that the president has not actually allowed these guys to rot in jail as other people or NPP you know, members were actually, you know, hoping for.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. KISSI, I'll give you the opportunity to react to that because I believe you will have, and right after that we'll take a quick break.
Right, thank you very much again. Let me pick on a few points that he raised earlier on. You see, these are people who went to court and they pleaded guilty. Now he's telling me that they should have been charged under a different law, that they should have ordered the Attorney General. Do you think the Attorney General, the NDC appointed Attorney General, will charge these people? I mean, where was the Attorney General? Didn't they hear all the trade that were made against the judges? Nothing would have happened, okay? So you accept responsibility, you say I'm guilty, and you plead for mercy, and now you turn around and you tell me that the judges made a mistake. They should have charged them under a different law. They should have done something else. Is that the kind of remorse that you're talking about?
Wrap up for me, Doctor.
Then, I don't think I've had enough time to react to that.
Yes, but I'm balancing the timing very well. So wrap up for me.
And then he's also talking about Sir John and Adamu Sekonde. Now with the release of with the press release that came from the presidency, they said that they're being released on compassionate grounds. Adamu Sekonde was ill, and I mean, if you know the circumstances that led to that heart condition, you will be surprised at what the national security did, and for them to now be using that as an argument that he was released. He was released on compassionate ground because he was ill. What is wrong with these three? There's nothing wrong with them. Okay, there's nothing wrong with them. Okay. They are not ill. They have not been bereaved. There's no reason why the president should talk about compassion when they are being released. They are just being released because they are the president's boys.
I see.
And as Mugabe said earlier on, he left London and went to Ghana just to work for President Mahama. And President Mahama has proven that by releasing him.
Victor Salome was allowed to die in jail.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll end it there.
We'll end it there. He was released on compassionate grounds.
So you've heard them. I'm going to take a very quick break. You're still here with me on Political Time. My name is Gifty and APPIAH. I've been here in the studio with Dr. John KISSI representing the NPP and Michael Frimpong representing the NDC. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.